Hey guys, Feuerrm here, and today I'm going to be giving you my initial thoughts on the Jesko event, as well as some tips and advice based on the information I've gathered in the first couple days of the event. As you can see here, I have completed all of the stages that is possible to complete at this time. The next stage doesn't open for over 2 days. If there's a lot of new information that comes out before the end of the event, I might make another video about that, but this should help you get started. The event lasts 38 days total, with 1 or 2 stages opening every day or two, making a total of just over 20 stages. If you click on the car icon in the upper right corner, you will see all the cars required for the event. Now early on, we mostly used the 2 cars to the left of each class section, with the car on the right being used less frequently, and some of these later ones we haven't used at all yet. I believe as the event goes on, we will be using less of the lower cars and more of the higher and more premium ones. Here you can see all the rewards, so every time you play a race you get a certain amount of Syndicate points, or SP, I think that's what it stands for, and in this reward section you can see what you will get at each level. The rewards total 2 million credits, 1900 tokens, and 5 blueprints for most of the cars, except you get 70 of the Jesko blueprints throughout here all the way to the end. There are more and more points in between each reward level as you go up, sort of like the Enduro Double Down from Asphalt 8, although you cannot lose your progress or anything. Now once you get to 404,000, this is when you get the key to unlock the car. The blueprints are only used to star up the car, and it appears that if you complete every mission you will get a decal for the car, but this 404,000 is the main thing to aim for. Based on a pop-up that appeared in the game, it looks like we will be getting packs for the Janetta, 812, Aculone, and Jesko, but they will use Syndicate Coins, which is a new currency you use to upgrade the Jesko as well as buy all packs for this event, which you can see here. This is the S coin. At first, the only packs available are the Janetta packs. Now these have a horrible drop rate, do not even technically guarantee you the car, and I would recommend instead buying as many as you can from the Legends store. Chances are you will be able to get more blueprints for less coins that way. And if you get to a point where you're stuck unless you have more coins and you can't get any more, you can buy them for tokens here, and this is where tokens will mostly come in handy in this event. For example, sometimes there is a required rank for the Jesko. Here I do not have the required rank, so I have to upgrade. Thankfully I have just enough coin at this time to upgrade a stat. I would recommend upgrading acceleration first and probably nitro as well. Do not upgrade top speed like at all. It is worthless because it is already so high. Later in the video, I will explain what I know so far of how to get as many of these coins as possible, but early on in the event, they give you pretty much everything you need, at least to upgrade the car to the required rank. Although it will definitely get harder. Now that I've upgraded acceleration, I'm at the required rank and can play that race. Now I will show you the different kinds of races in the event. There is one called On the Run, which is basically the hunted thing with the police cars and stuff, and you can't wreck or else you are out. You know, it's normal like that. However, there is one catch. In these, sometimes there are special barriers that you cannot really go through without losing a whole lot of speed. So try to avoid those if possible. And they have these really cool cinematics in the middle of the race, which look nice, although they can sometimes be disorienting. This race here is actually the first one that everybody plays once they get into the event, and I mainly wanted to do this one to show you, number one, the on the run mode and those new barriers and stuff, but also to show you just how this car drives, because it's a bit different than we expected. At stock, it actually has a very good drifting radius. It can reach well over 300 miles per hour, but its acceleration and nitro efficiency are not very good. And here are a couple of these barriers I'm talking about. Yeah, they slow you down very much, so definitely try to avoid those if you can. This Jesko feels like an upgraded version of the Tryon Nemesis, and once I tell you the max stats, you will understand why. At 6 stars, the top speed stat is 496, the acceleration is 80, the handling is 48, and the nitro is 58. This car has high top speed, average acceleration, amazing drifting, and not so great nitro, just like the Tryon Nemesis. However, the stats are better by at least a little bit, and sometimes a good bit in every area. But that's just what driving this car reminds me of, the Tryon Nemesis. If you haven't driven it yet, but you have the Tryon, well, you pretty much know what this one's gonna feel like. After this race, I'll show you some more details of how this event appears to work and how I think you can best get through it. But right now I want to tell you guys my predictions of how the event is going to be later, because people have said that at the beginning it is actually quite fun and enjoyable, and I believe that. Yeah, like the first bit of this is quite fun, but it does get a bit grueling later. For example, you have to play some races multiple times, or you can in order to get more of that coin, which you need to upgrade the cars, so that might get a bit boring. Also, definitely you will need to use more of the premium cars later. I think early on they just give give you a bunch of races in the DSE tents and the lease and cars like that to get you hooked on the event, but later on, I bet you they will make you use cars like the G60, 812, Aculone, and Sonar 1, cars like that more often. Because since this is pretty much the king of the game, Game Off would definitely not make the event easy. So we've won 100 of the Syndicate coin and 600 of the Syndicate points. By the way, DS stands for Drive Syndicate. Those 600 points pushed us to the next reward level, in which we got 5 of those E-Tents blueprints and 50,000 credit. I showed you all the rewards in the event earlier. Up top, you can see that line. At each of those white points, you will get another reward. Now, in each of these stages, you will generally have 3 missions you can choose from. The hazard level tells you how many hazard points or whatever each race will make you go up, and you can go up to 10, and then you can play an ad if you want to reduce it. It's basically the opposite of ticketed events. The less you have, the more races you can play. Another kind of race that we have in this event is called the Hacker Run. Now, this is just a time attack. It has the fire walls, as they call them, or those checkpoints that give you more time. They also have those things that you can pick up to give you 1 or 2 more seconds. So it's not really anything new, but there is a completely new game mode in this special event, which you probably have seen if you played the event or saw my Genty Aculone video yesterday, but I will show it again after this race and explain in even more detail sort of how it works, because after I made that Aculone video, I got some more information about it in the comments. Thank you guys. So earlier, remember how I was talking about how the event will probably get harder and we will have to use the premium and newer cars more? One thing that you should probably do is keep saving up as many Syndicate coins as you can. Don't buy any packs in the shop for now, and just use them when you really need them, because then you won't have to worry, hopefully, about running out when you really need some, and then you won't have to spend tokens on them. And as the hot dog said in his stream today, play the long game with this one. Don't try to get everything right away. You would waste so many resources trying to do that, and I believe all the packs will stay throughout the entirety of the event. So only buy what you need when you need it, and things will go a lot better for you. Now for the new game mode, Money Run. Now you saw in those previous races how I got maybe 1 to 200 Syndicate coins in them. Well, these can give you over 1,000. And so can the pinned missions, which I will show you after this race here. So if you look on the right, there is a number that is constantly going down. This is how many coins you have at this point in the race. If it drops below that red number by the end of the race, you will lose the race. You can gain coins by knockdowning other cars, and you lose coins by taking damage, which is gotten by hitting the side or hitting a traffic car too hard or something like that. You can also knock down cop cars in order to get more of this coin. So basically try to knock down as many things as you can. And you get to keep however many coins that number is at the end of the race. The meter will pause going down if you're in the air or if you are in Shockwave. As you can see here, I'm in Shockwave and it's staying at 1184, but then when I go out of Shockwave, it proceeds to go down again. So cars with very good nitro efficiency, such as the Elise, are very good for these kinds of events, so you can get more coins by the end of the race. In this race, we got well over 1,000 Syndicate coin, and by the way, the races with higher hazard level give more Syndicate points. If you come to a mission and it requires a car you do not have, such as the Janetta in this case for me, you can skip it. Early on it's cheap, so I would recommend doing this so you don't get stuck, and after you complete all of the main missions in an event, you can play these pinned missions. Now what they do not give you any Syndicate points, but they give you 1,000 or more Syndicate coins. These are a great way to get more of these coins to upgrade the car and to buy things in the shop, but again, early on in the event, just keep on saving them. Start to spend them when you see a car that comes up a lot in the event, I would say, and you don't want to keep having to spend tokens in order to skip it. Once you reach higher levels and can buy packs for the Super Fast and Jesko and Aculone, it might be good to spend some Syndicate coins to try to get those later on if you see them appear a lot, but you also got to remember you need to keep your Jesko near the required rank, as I imagine those will cost a lot to skip. So you have to complete all missions in a certain stage to get to the pinned events. It doesn't matter what order you do them in, just that you complete them all. And apparently, if you do not like the pinned event that you have, you can refresh the game in order to get a different one. The few times I've tried that, it hasn't really seemed to work for me, but if you can get that to happen, you might be able to get more money runs as all of your set number of pinned events, and therefore get even more Syndicate coins that way. So I hope this video was very informative. If you have any more questions, be sure to put them in the comments below. Thank you all for watching. Please like the video if you enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt and Forza content, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!